Hey guys, welcome to another episode of James Games Corner. Yes, we're doing a little switch up today. Yes, for now, I am your guest host, Julian, and my guest for today is the host with the most.
James.
So, we're going to talk to him and see what his top 5 games are that he likes and what he loves. So, without further ado, James, top 5, let's go.
Yeah, so I will start it with there is a lot of games I want to put on this list, and this list changes probably every single week. I'm going to go with the list that I wrote down a couple weeks ago just because I haven't changed it. Honorable mention I will start with would be GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64.
Of course, you got to put GoldenEye on there.
I didn't put it on my actual top 5 list. I know a lot of people are going to be really upset with me because I have a lot of friends who, when I would get drunk back in college days, I would claim that I was the best GoldenEye player in the world, and then I'm like, no, I'm being crazy. Maybe Virginia, I'm the best Gold player. And they're like, dude, shut up. I'm like, no, I'm serious though. And even sober me, I'm like, I'm still saying that. That's an honorable mention.
Okay.
So for the actual top 5, I want to start out with Batman Arkham City. I know people love the Arkham Asylum game, which still a fantastic game.
It was good for what it was to start off what Arkham could have been, but Arkham City just did a better job.
Yeah.
Than anything.
The fact that you felt more open, so you could actually kind of fly around, use the gadgets a lot better. I liked how there was kind of 3 different kind of stories going on at once, because you have the Joker thing, you have Hugo Strange.
Yeah, Hugo Strange.
And then you have kind of a little bit of the Ra's al Ghul stuff, where he wants you to take over for him. And it's that game, obviously now Spider-Man is out, and I still am going to play through that. That's probably a better version of it because it makes more sense for Spider-Man to have Spidey sense than Batman.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that was one game where there was 500 Riddler trophies. I did them all. That game's so fun.
The game is so fun and so interactive, and we were talking about with my top 5, what I loved about it was you made some spins on certain villains in Batman's art gallery. For instance, we were talking about, I keep bringing them up, Calendar Man.
Yeah.
If you look at him in the comics, Calendar Man was such an annoying person. Oh, I'm gonna rob the bank on Labor Day, or things like that. But literally, if you would go into Harvey Dent's courthouse and you sit there and watch him in the prison, you go there on a specific day, on Halloween, for instance.
You could go on there today, which this won't be today when this comes out, but the day we're recording.
Yeah, the day we're recording, which is Halloween. On this day, he would say something about how he was at some Halloween party.
Yeah, he would talk about one of the comics that he did something in. Yeah,
and it's just that. I love that about Arkham City so much. And that's why it was in my top. I still put it as one of my top 2 games I've ever played, and for you to even put in your top 5,
you give you justification. Okay,
I'm yes, I know that I made a good game.
Yeah, so. That was one where that was an easy one to throw in because I knew any type of Batman's already great. The game plays great.
Yeah.
And that was a game I remember I beat it in a day once. I downloaded after I beat it on Xbox a long time ago. I downloaded it on Steam, beat it in a sitting, straight up because I had played it so much. And then I got on the next day to do the DLC, and I realized for some reason there was weird cloud saving issues because it wasn't on Steam. It was on Games before it was live.
Yeah.
And it deleted my game. So I beat the game again that day. So in 2 days, I beat the game twice. I love that game. Good game. My second game on the list, not in order until the final one. My second on the list is Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
I love the Mass Effect trilogy. The first one's really good, but it has some flaws as far as the gameplay goes.
But the second one, with Arkham City, Mass Effect 2 perfected everything that you're looking for in the Mass Effect game.
Exactly. And 3, it did very well, but it kind of drops the ball at the end because...
Let's not talk about Shepard.
Yeah, but you get it was I had played Knights of the Old Republic when I was younger, and Mass Effect is definitely a kind of a...
Almost like a byproduct of it?
Yeah, kind of like a spiritual successor. I remember right before Mass Effect 3 came out, I had played 1 and 2 at my friend's house on his computer, and when 3 came out, I bought all of them on Xbox and played through them again just so I would have my own save file. That's one thing, I love games where you transfer information from one to the other.
Yes.
And Mass Effect 2, it has they're spoilers for a game that's over a decade old, There, like towards the end, you go on like a pretty much a suicide mission, which guess what, you kind of live through, but kind of don't. But like, I remember the first time I did it, there was a lot of other missions you could do, and you needed to upgrade your ship. And I didn't do that, so I go into this like portal where you're going towards the end of the game, and like my ship's getting destroyed, and my crew's just dying in my ship, and I'm like, whoa, what? Like, how can I save him? So I end up going back later on and like finding ways to make sure everyone lived. But like, Mass Effect 2, it's one of those games where the reason it was kind of almost not on my list is because you still need the bookends of 1 and 3 on there. But I think 2 is just perfectly executed as far as what they were trying to do with that game.
Yeah.
But that said, on a completely different note, my third game on the list is Animal Crossing New Leaf for the Nintendo 3DS. I love the Animal Crossing games. It's
really
probably one of my favorite franchises, and it's one of those things I didn't realize until just like playing over time. Like, I played the GameCube one a lot as a kid. Me and my friends, we used to go and like we would have like sleepovers, and every hour it was your turn, and like so the other two of us would just watch and kind of talk while you were playing for an hour, and then it was your turn. And the thing is, like, because the game is real time, and
I hate to be that guy. I have yet to play an Animal Crossing game.
ooh,
Yes, I know.
it's so good.
But I guess my thing is, and I was going to ask you that, is what is the idea of Animal Crossing?
So, have you ever played like The Sims?
Of course.
So, imagine The Sims, but less stressful, and just it's one of those games you can just sit and relax. Because like the whole thing is, you come to town usually in the games and you get a house,
Right.
and the guy who sells that, he's like, hey, just pay me back the money. And the thing is, you just go around talking to the other animals, like, and saying like, hey, can I do anything for you? And like oh yeah, go take this to that animal. And like, all right, cool. And like you go talk to them. Each animal has its own personality, so each character in the town has personality. The thing is, sometimes if like you kind of neglect them, they'll move out of your town. But if you have a really popular town that people really like, other animals will move in. And like one of the cool things, like with the GameCube one and with the like they've always had it, because the GameCube, you could take 2 memory cards, and if you had your memory card in there, I could visit your town and look at your animals, and you could visit mine. And then other animals from our towns might move to each other's towns because they heard about how good it was. And the cool thing with 3DS is they continue that, where like if I went to your town online, animals would move
Animals
back
can
and forth.
cross over to my town as well.
And like you get like furniture from the animals for doing chores and stuff, and you sell stuff and you build your house bigger. But it's not like where The Sims has stress to like make sure your Sim's doing well, and they're like doing this. Animal Crossing is just like, just do whatever. Like the later ones, like New Leaf, the one I like, you're actually the mayor as well, so you can also renovate the town a bit. And like it's those things, if you don't play the game for a while, you'll come back and the animals will be like, dude, where have you been? I haven't seen you in 3 years. Like, because it has like an active time, and like your town will grow weeds, but like you can go fishing. Like it's such a relaxing game, that I recommend everyone should play at least one of them. Like it's hard to explain without saying it, because there's no real purpose a lot of times. It's just living, but like it's an escape from real life, and it's one of those things I love those games so much.
Okay, I'm going to put that on my list of games to play. All right.
Going back though, again, because I like to completely jump back and forth with my genre taste.
Yeah.
The fourth game on the list would be Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
The best Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah.
Period.
That is a game I purchased on the 3DS, the PS2, the PS3, and the Xbox 360.
Yeah, it was on 360.
Yeah, because they had the one. Maybe it was PS4. Either way, I've purchased that game so many times, and I never get tired of it, because it's a James Bond movie with Metal Gear Solid in it.
It basically is. Like, I'll explain. I bought it on the 3DS years ago. Was it years ago?
It would have been.
Yeah, it was years ago. It's just, my mind is all over the place.
Welcome to old life.
Yeah,
old
man life. And I remember playing it, and I remember hearing things about Metal Gear Solid, how it's basically Splinter Cell actually wanted to take itself seriously.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Right. And so when I played it, I was just sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is probably a pretty damn good game. And then when I played throughout the entire game because like I needed help with my brother because
Yeah.
like I can't do
Stealth
games really well.
I have a lot of friends who just can't. They just, I just have to kill it. I have to kill the guy. He's right there. I can't sneak behind him.
No, and that's what I hated. That's what I love about Splinter Cell. Because Splinter Cell Conviction that came out on Xbox 360. Side note, I used to be that guy that used to be like, all right, I'm in the shadows for way too damn long. You know what?
Yeah, right. Let's get this going.
Let's just get this going. And Metal Gear Solid, it hurts you.
Yeah, you have to hide.
Right, it hurts you for doing that, and that's what pissed me off about. That didn't piss me off about Splinter Cell, but that's what kind of took me out of the surrealism with Splinter Cell because
Splinter Cell's an action game with stealth elements.
Right, it's like, oh, I can do stealth, but it doesn't have to start. It doesn't have to like basically finish the game. Whereas with Snake Eater, you have to play stealth. Otherwise, you're gonna have a terrible time playing the game.
Yeah,
and that's why it was so challenging. But the payoff at the end really helped it for me.
Yeah, I'm apparently spoiling a lot of things. This is for like a 2-decade-old game almost at this point. Two decades, yeah. The whole ending where you're fighting your mentor, who you thought was a traitor to the U.S., the boss, and you find out she was not. She's actually been doing this all to help the U.S. But you still have to fight her and kill her. And at the end, you're sitting there and you're holding the gun over her, and it's cinematic, but you have to press the button. You have to pull the trigger.
You have to pull the trigger.
And the game will just sit there. If you don't pull it, you have to pull the trigger.
Because it won't let you progress. And that's what pissed me off because it's like, I remember at that moment my brother was like, bro, should we do it? And I was like, she fucking trying to help us. No, why should we do that? And literally the game just was like,
nah. She's the greatest hero.
Exactly. So we're waiting on you. No, I don't want to pull it. We're not going anywhere until you push this button.
This is a prequel. This already happened technically.
So
you got to do this.
You got to do this.
Yeah, that game. We talked about movies earlier today and talked about kind of like masterpieces in a lot of games. How they're just a lot of games are just dumb action stuff. I would say Metal Gear 3 is up there close with like masterpieces as far as like cinematic storytelling and actual gameplay and stuff. That game, easily one of my top 5.
The only reason why it's not in my top 5, and I guess this is my age talking, is because I was 4 years old when the game came out. Yes. Look, you're only 4 years older than me. Let's not do that. We almost have the exact same.
Well, 90s. No, you would have been 4 when the first game came out.
First game came out in 98.
Yeah, the first
game came out in 98. Snake Eater came out in...
Because it was on PS2.
03?
That sounds closer, yeah. So I'd have been like 13.
03, so I was like 9. I couldn't play...
You couldn't appreciate... Like, right. I barely could, and it's something I've had to go back and play to really appreciate, but yeah.
And that's why it's not in my top 5, because it's like a game I had to go back and appreciate later. But I would say that I really did enjoy the game.
And on the closing chapter of this episode of Julian's James Games Corner, my number one game, and this is actually my number one game of all time. The other ones kind of float around. My number one game of all time is Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo.
All right.
I will say, and going back to honorable mentions, I did want to put a Pokemon game on here, but Pokemon games are very simplistic.
They're the same thing.
And
just in different environments.
Super Mario RPG is... So it's for those unfamiliar, which you should know, because it's at this point it's a pretty popular game.
Pretty popular.
It was made by Nintendo and Square before they were Square Enix. So it's pretty much Mario, but plays like Final Fantasy. But like, so it's got, the music is amazing. It's on the SNES, but it has like the 3D kind of modeling stuff. It's hard to explain because it's not like it by today's standards.
It's not your typical Mario game.
Yeah, and it's a very simple RPG. Like,
yeah,
you have special items, basic attacks, and if you hit A when they hit the hammer, he does a better hit. But I don't know what it is, man. It's one of those games. I remember being a kid. I was probably 10 when I beat the game. I remember my friend Paul, who lived the street behind me. He had it. He let me borrow it. I remember crying when I beat that game because I was like, so like, it's over. I don't know, and it's a cool game because like it's one of the first games you get like Bowser on your team.
Yeah.
And like you're actually getting to play as Peach as well, which like you got to play in Super Mario Brothers too, but like everyone has more of a personality than you ever saw before. It goes to like all these different worlds and stuff, and like there's some touching moments and stuff in it, but I don't know. It's the most pure game in my heart to
So
me.
I was just about to say, in terms of storytelling, especially this showed you what Square Enix will eventually be able to do with their Final Fantasy games. And what I liked about it, and again, I had to appreciate it later when my brother played it on. What system did it was on backwards compatible for?
They end up. I know they put it back on
Was it the Wii U?
the Wii U.
Yeah, it was on the Wii U. And I remember watching my brother play it like 3 years ago, and I was just like, wow. Like, yeah, it's different. Don't get me wrong. If you're a huge Super Mario fan and you want to see something different, that's what Mario RPG is for. And that's what I liked about it so much, because it was so different than what you were really like accustomed to.
It's so different. They ended up turning the franchise pretty much into Paper Mario.
Yeah,
because that's what it became.
That's what sucks, is that they made RPG into Paper Mario, and
I hate to say it, I love the Paper Mario, but yeah, it's
not the same.
It's
though.
not.
And so that's why I was like, in terms of if you want to see an actual game that you can basically make Mario a story and you can invest in the characters instead of it just
it's
being
not just
Mario,
saving the princess.
Right, Mario saving the princess from Bowser every time. This is the game that you would punch yourself into.
I love that. It's one of the games where I have beaten that game probably more than any other game I've ever played. Because every now and then, like every couple years, I'm like, I'm just gonna play all Super Mario RPG. Why not? And I'll just boot it up and play it. Like, the worst part was like since it is like a very like hit, it's hard to find a physical copy of it. It's not super expensive. Like, I remember last time I bought it, it was like $70 for the cart. Which, you're like, $70 is like the normal price for a game nowadays. It's a Super Nintendo game though. Like,
and that's how I felt about trying to buy a brand new Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
God.
But anyway, that is my top 5 as of today. We'll see what happens next week when I think about all this.
Every time we might have a James Games Corner week, he is the guest. We might have a
New top 5
games.
And the new top 4, Super Mario RPG is always number 1, and then 4 other games.
So it might change. I think it's gonna change next week. Like, I found out that his top 5 movies when we did Deleted Scenes, he has a new top 5 now, and we might talk about that one day.
I literally, like I said, I changed one before we started recording. Like, I'm very indecisive. Ladies, hit me up. Yeah.
But that's going to be it for us today. Thank you for tuning in to James Games Corner. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell us what you think of James's top 5 video games.
Only if it's good things. Don't tell me anything bad, because I will fight you. I will hunt you down.
And he actually checks the comments. Like, I thought I checked comments.
I actually do.
He individually checks every comment we put on if y'all put on this channel. So he is watching every moment. But from all of us here from Stage 3, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned.